On the western shores of Faerun lies the city of Waterdeep, a place of business for many, opportunity for others, and called home by countless thousands, but all know it as the City of Splendors. Its history is old, older than noble families that rule in the upper wards, older than Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale, older even than Neverwinter Forest and the great plains that succumbed to the spell plague and the calamity. It has persevered. The city sleeps safely behind its high, white walls and has never fallen, not once. Waterdeep is the hub of many races that make up a variety of castes, and it's a city of spectrums with great wealth and great oppressive poverty. Festivals and fairs, crime and corruption, adventure and intrigue, and nary a dull moment. In short, it is a city of dichotomous nature. Nobles of the North Ward parade through the streets and throw elegant balls to flaunt their wealth just beyond the walls that divide them from the Field Ward, which homes those with thousands upon thousands of hungry mouths, some of them old beggars, others children made orphans by a parent's vice, or war, or both. Each of the 7 wards houses humans, tieflings, dwarves, half-orcs, elves, dragonborn, and half another world of other creatures. Truly a cosmopolitan city. Merchants can be heard calling out the contents of their stalls in the trades ward, smells of freshly caught fish, ripe fruits and spices brought in from traders who traveled afar over the Sea of Swords. And then there's the streets of the castle ward, pristine, patrolled by guards who don colorful and exquisite armor. Statues act as street signs pointing towards the courthouse, a local theater, or the king's extravagant castle. Just beyond the crimeless castle ward is the Sea Ward, home to a dozen religious gaudy temples, some built of stone, others carved straight into massive statues the size of titans, which loom over the city of Waterdeep. Their features sometimes disappear into the sky when the clouds hang lower when a fresh morning fog rolls in from the sea, and they've been still for so long that houses have begun to appear near, around, and on them. Once, a long time ago, their names were known and their history told often, but the city is old and with time the people have lost those stories. The statues remain dormant. In the dock ward, amidst the sea foam and the salted ocean scents, raucous laughter or murderous shouting, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, can be heard from behind brightly lit tavern windows. Salty dogs partake in bouts of violence, for brawls go hand in hand with hard liquor, and the liquor flows like water there in the dock ward. The dark alleys that pepper this ward are the hunting grounds for cutthroats, the busy harbor a playing field for a thief with sticky fingers, and nobles know to avoid this place, as much for the general smell as the inherent danger, like a lamb wandering into a pack of wolves. The great graveyard called the City of the Dead sits in the eastern portion of Waterdeep. It houses countless dead from numerous generations past, and walls have been erected around it, and guards patrol it regularly in case any upstart necromancer is looking for flesh for their dark magic. No dead wander about, but with a graveyard this large, the ghost stories are inevitable. Children and drunkards often dare one another to sneak in and stay the night. Childish things, the adults would say, but even a grown man is superstitious enough that he wouldn't partake in any dare of the sort. And on the other side of the city looms the great Mount Waterdeep, a natural landmark that only further enhances an already beautiful vista. Its white-capped peaks are still visible, even as the spring festival quickly approaches. The jagged peaks split the light of the morning, casting a shadow over the portion of the City of Splendors, a moment that worshippers of Lathandir praise as sacred. Mount Waterdeep once housed the original denizens that founded the city of Waterdeep, with tunnels and mines running through the very core, but it's been long since abandoned. Or so the city thought. There's been rumblings in the dark, sounds from the old mines, a patrol disappearing here or there. Some say it's a troll, or perhaps creatures from the Underdark striking in the night. Others rumored that a mage took residence there, experimenting on things better left untouched. He went mad, the rumors say. Some say on those cold, still winter nights just past you can hear laughter echoing off the mountainside. Others know that it's just the winds. and there's a scene change, and we kind of get like a cut scene somewhere in like the dock ward of just vicious violence breaking out between numerous thugs wearing dark leather, others more nondescript garments, slitting each other's throats, blood spilling in the street. Violence that has been new, to say the least, and more common. Previously, anyone staying in Waterdeep would know that open violence in extreme quantity, like it's been happening recently, would be pretty rare. All of this kind of fades out, and we pull in close on a very famous sort of seedy bar in its own right, the Yawning Portal.
Ooh.
Ooh. Little raucous, little rowdy. So, our tale begins with more humble beginnings. In a very overcrowded city where trustworthy and reliable work can be hard to find, a good drink, a warm meal, and entertaining can be hard to find as well. Many turn to the Yawning Portal, a tavern and inn of some mystery, known to house many adventurers from all over. The portal itself is rumored to be an old, hollowed shell of a tower that goes down into the infamous Undermountain itself, some nefarious, ever-spanning labyrinth of hell that apparently Waterdeep sits on top of. Some say it's just a fucking well. Regardless, you all find yourselves here on this night, contacted recently by someone who's been trying to help you find work. She has asked you to meet her here at the Yawning Portal, and I imagine you all arrive at various times. I don't know which one of you might arrive first and be extra punctual. If that's the case, feel free to throw it out there.
Oh yeah, I'll already be there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oops.
Yeah.
Give
I
me
like to
one
scope out the
moment.
place. What is this 4D12? What is that?
Gonna do a little thing here. I'll throw your tokens on the map.
Ooh.
You should be able to just move around if you want to. Actually, I'll put you outside.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Should be unlocked if you want to
Nice little map here.
Nice.
maneuver a
Alright.
little bit.
Hell yeah.
I missed one of my flare images during the ramble. There's a
Ooh,
nice
look at that,
evening
look at
shot of Waterdeep.
Wait, do they actually have patrolling griffins?
They do, yeah, the Griffin
Oh my
cavalry.
God.
Yeah, and I'm sure at one point or another, you all have been handed or seen guards hand someone a small pamphlet, which you know is a copy of the Code Legal, which we won't get into right now necessarily, but if you want to scroll and middle mouse or button drag through, it's a very well ordered city. With some known offenses and messing
Oh my
with
God.
nobles or stealing or impersonating, like, oh, yeah, all kinds of stuff that you could get into and be charged with. It's very uncommon for people to be wearing armor and weapons openly, other than guards. Most people don't don them in specific situations. Although, you know, again, like in places like the Yawning Portal where adventurers travel, it's not uncommon. But like out and about, you don't see people like dressed head to toe in armor. Pretty uncommon out in the streets and in the trade districts and things like that. Give me one moment. So, as you all kind of make your way about looking for your contact, it's a dark-skinned woman. She appears to be a priest. She told you she was originally from the island of Chult and very interested in numerous affairs here in Waterdeep, and she told you that she's basically been staying here and has a permanent room of residence on one of the upper floors of the Yawning portal. She's a little worried she didn't have anything specifically targeting your current abilities, but she knows quite a few people and was willing to act as a liaison of sorts between you and someone who could help find some basic work. And so it was that she asked you all independently to meet you here on this night. And as you're kind of making your way about, maybe getting drink, having a snack, getting some food, hitting on a barmaid, catching the local gossip, you see quite a few familiar faces, people that you would have seen around the tavern quite a bit before. And I'm just going to throw that in front of you. Feel free to gravitate towards any of these people or not at all. Maybe there's one person you know or have spoken or you just recognized before, but Durnan and Bonnie and Three Strings currently playing near the fire pit are definitely staples here. Bottom left is Obaya, the human dark-skinned cleric of Joaquin, who you previously spoke with and had work arranged with. Imagine, hustle bustle going on. You haven't really clocked her yet. You're just milling about the tavern for the most part while you all show up or kind of take your time here. And during this time, you hear sort of like a raucous group at the bar. And there's this, none of you have probably seen before, but if you've been to the Yawning Portal, maybe you have numerous times before, then maybe you've seen this happen. But you have probably seen this plaque. It's almost like this is almost like giant glossy finished piece of wood with like burnt in engraved writing on it before. And if you haven't really seen what's about to happen before, it all kind of starts to make sense. And you hear people saying like, "Oh, he's gonna do it! He's gonna do the dip!" And people like start like banging their drinks on the bar, and like things are clinking around the tavern. Things are getting a little more raucous here and there, and you start to hear like a chant like dip, 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 and like eventually most of the establishment is kind of joining in. I don't know if you are,
Yes.
but it is definitely like really picking up in here. Let me see if I can.
I am not, but I am watching.
Okay.
Dip, dip,
It
dip.
has my
dip.
attention.
So you see a young man kind of step forward, and he's approaching Durnan at the bar. He slaps a gold coin. Like people kind of like cleared out. They're normally hard to it's hard to get the barmaid or Durnan himself. People have kind of like cleared a path, and he goes up and slaps a gold coin down very clearly on the bar. Durnan nods, reaches under the bar, pulls out a bell, hands it to the man, pulls out a tankard, fills it to the top, foam spilling over the edge, and he kind of like gives him a look like, all right, here you go, buddy. Everyone's cheering. The guy begins to strip off his weapons. He does have like some leather armor on, a short sword, puts it at the bar, the spot that's been cleared out by everyone. He's basically just standing there in his underwear now with a bell and just a full fucking mug of ale. And he walks out onto this small platform that stands over top the middle of the well. If you just give me one moment. You can see like they're kind of like getting this like apparatus ready. This isn't exactly accurate, but it's close enough. And then along with the poster as well, you can kind of see.
Oh my god.
He's
Yes.
getting ready to do the dip.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna pull this up here.
Dude, that's awesome.
I love
And like
everything
his
that's happening right
his
now.
buddies are like
Yeah.
his buddies are like, because he's like with a large group right now. and they're all kind of like,
Mhm.
"Show them what you're made of."
Which one was he in that picture?
He's probably. Let me see here. He's the guy like climbing over the edge of magic, but he's just in his underwear instead of wearing armor. He's
Yep.
basically like on like a pulley that's being dropped over from like the candelabra or whatever you want to call it. This buddy's just here like, show what you're made of. They're all fucking drunk as hell. Uh, and so they lower the cable. He loops around it, standing on it, kind of like a guy on a ship, like leaning out over the nothing of this massive well. And the you Alatar instantly know. You just read this guy's features without even trying. You passively deduce that he is got a brave face on right now, but this guy is scared shitless. And the crowd begins to chant, and you feel free to join in if you want. But like some guy, you see some people drinking, kind of like looking up at the plaque on the big wall. And this thing's massive; it's very readable from afar. It's basically like a fucking sing along right now. And you just go, "Under mountain lies below, where only fools and braggarts go, where monsters roam and wounds are mortal. Few survive the yawning portal. Stand your ground or ring the bell, and hope you make it up the well." And the guy just finished chugging the beer while sort of like dangling suspended by the rope, and just casually drops the tankard, and it just goes and goes, and you never hear it hit. And during this moment, they leave him suspended, burping, belching, and they start taking bets. People are taking bets up at Derna near the top there. "I'll bet a dragon he's ringing the bell before he hits the bottom. I bet 2 dragons he stays down 3 minutes and comes up with the cup." More betting continue. People are making various bets. No one goes past 3 minutes. The standard seems to be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or no minutes. Some people bet that he doesn't come back up at all. Are any of you partaking?
Yep.
I'm reading my book.
He's never coming back. 1 gold.
Okay.
I'm very interested in all of this. This feels all new to me.
Yeah. Okay. Are you just kind of taking it all in from
I
afar?
really am. Yeah.
All right.
I'm interested, but I'm an outsider, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like I don't feel like I've experienced this before.
All right. Okay. All right. Schmidt, you hand over 1 gold to the bar.
Yeah.
I know you've got like a certain fixed amount. We'll deal with that later. That's fine.
You slap it down over here on the bar.
You slap down on the bar. That's right. All
right, he's not gonna make it. He's he's never coming back.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. He'll be back with the cup. You kind of hear like a last call, and everyone's sort of getting their bets in right now. Yep.
And so I just watched Schmidt put money down.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
And I kind of go up to us. What's going on?
Oh, 1 minute. He's never coming back. I'm gonna put a gold on it. He's never coming back. What do you think? What do you think? Put some money on. Put some money on. What do you got? What do you got?
What's in there?
Nothing. Nothing's down there. Death. If you're lucky.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm really intrigued now.
And like you're talking to this guy, and you realize, like, I mean, you yourself, are kind of sticking to the outskirts of all this, but this guy is like, he's clearly half drow, flamboyant as all hell. He's like oozing with like nobility and money.
Okay.
At the corner of the bar, like while you two are talking, you spot a very sharp-eyed human, kind of like looking over the popped collar of his tunic or trench coat, wherever the hell that thing is.
Excuse me, can I get a beer, please? Is there anyone around here? Offer a man a beer, some wine, maybe.
After a while, like through the hustle and bustle, your sharp voice kind of cuts through to Bonnie, one of the barmaids. He goes, yeah. What can I get you?
Could I get a bottle of wine, please?
Oh, you're different. And she just kind of shrugs and goes back behind the bar, and then from the other side of the bar serves you, kind of just like almost like a mocking like wipe of the counter in front of you before putting like a fancy glass of dark red wine in front of you.
I nod. I don't know how much the wine is. I put a gold down, or
Yeah,
I don't know how much it is.
negligible for this evening's affairs. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah.
But how
Um,
much are you going on this fool who's he's gonna throw his life away?
I try to
One
go
gold.
and peek down the hole that he's gonna dip into.
You see nothing. There's almost like an air. It's not really like blowing strong, but there's like a different smell about it, and there's something that's very unnerving about the pit itself. And like you can tell by the making the structure, like this is clearly not like a normal well. And maybe some of the stories or rumors you've heard are true, that like this place is actually built on top of like some sort of entrance to hell. Some call it under mountain, some call it just nothing.
Can I just like when I hear this person next to me talking about it, I kind of turn around and look at it. Can I see like what pulley system they're using? Like how legit does it look? Does it look like a decent, from this distance, would I be able to
Yeah, it looks
deduce
pretty.
anything?
Yeah, it's very clear to you that even though this place has like an air about it that kind of feels like hole in the wall tavern, like it's a pretty well kept place. And you can tell between the song, the placard, and the pulley system that while it doesn't look amazingly engineered, this thing's like been through the ringer and back again. So I mean, it's basically just it's kind of like the one
Sturdy.
portrait. It's sturdy. Yeah, it's not beautiful. It's not ingeniously crafted, but sturdy is a good way to look at it.
I mean, I think if you ask me, that lad is scared shitless. But
Of course he is.
Yep.
He knows he's gonna die.
Perhaps.
Let's see, let's
Also,
see.
I get my gold if that thing breaks. Just saying.
I don't
Never
think it'll
coming
break.
back. He's never coming back.
While you're sort of taking in the pulley system, sharp-eyed human, why don't you roll a
That's what I was looking for. I cast something. Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
Still not up there.
Okay. Oh, you cast that like down in the. Okay.
It might even help Dave's sharp eye.
Yeah. Okay. As you cast this, there's like an illumination that forms. Is this like just around the well and the guy himself, like on the apparatus?
I don't like. I'm not entirely sure how this spell works. I'm trying to read it, but it's just light cantrip, right? It's just
Yeah.
I can cast
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
a point, or can I throw it out into space?
You can touch an object. It's a touch spell, so you have to touch
Okay.
it no larger than 10 foot in any dimension until the spell ends for up to an hour. That
Okay.
object will continue to shed bright light in a 20-foot radius with dim light.
Is there a way?
Color it.
Can I touch the rope in a 10-foot area of
Yeah.
the rope? So it just goes
Yeah,
up
yeah,
10. So as he's going down, I just touch the rope above him as he's
Yeah.
already down.
Yeah, sure. And as you do this and kind of illuminate, you see on his bare shoulder now, sort of like as like the rope sort of does that just kind of casual twisting, like while it's holding his weight, his shoulder turns towards all of you, and you see a tattoo on him. Yeah, let me see. Sorry, one moment.
There's 6.
So, you shit. You see a very recognizable tattoo, Dante. You see it's a circular symbol, and it's got a very distinct sort of design pattern to it. And let me show you what that looks like.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Has he already been like lowered down a little bit?
No,
like,
so they're
yeah,
like, well,
or
like
still-
it's
he's
kind of
still
like
lowered?
sunk in. He's still above like the wall of the thing.
Okay.
You see that tattoo on him.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Oh god, I'm trying to make a new thing. Make a new page, new section, new page. Great. Okay, thank you, sir. Ooh, okay, interesting. Yeah. What do I recognize it to be? Sorry. I hear it
Yeah.
now.
Okay, so bets have been taken. They're all sealed off. They start lowering this guy, and basically you hear like it's going down slowly. Everyone's still chanting and going, and as they're doing this, a 7 foot tall half orc woman. She's kind of both beautiful and terrifying. Suddenly appears in the crowd and kind of pushes forward. Some of this guy's friends were holding on to the rope and kind of assisting with the pulley system, and she sort of like brute forces her way in front of them and grabs the rope from them. And he was like, "What are you doing, Yagra?" And they kind of like start shouting and shouting, and everyone like this commotion. Like, it keeps lowering and lowering, and she seems to be helping him lower even faster. Not like she's trying to kill him, but at a very, very uncomfortable rate. And let me just pull one thing up here.
I rush over to the edge. Like, we gotta watch this. I smack the guy next to me and I'd run over. Oh shit. She's his doom. Watch this. Are you putting money down? How much money you got? I put a gold. They're never coming back. He's not coming back.
Give me one moment.
And I smack this guy next to me too.
So here's our.
If that thing breaks, I get my gold.
I love the idea that this rich aristocrat is obsessed with one gold piece. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get it. Let me tell you, this is where the thrill comes in.
I'm obsessed with being right. It's not about the money, man. It's not about the money. These guys, they're all betting copper. Maybe a silver. You bet gold.
As you walk away, I just turn around, take a good look at you. What do I see? Like, what you want to describe your character?
Yeah,
maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me get some of that.
Yeah, he's this portrait of a flamboyant half drow with a super clean dude, the top knot, shaved sides of his head, and you could tell that like this accent he's putting on is probably fake, terrible. Like he's trying to blend in. He's not doing such a good job. But he does hold himself very well, and even though he's been drinking a lot, is weirdly stable.
Okay.
And he's dressed super kind of like he's got like a very, very nice like collared shirt, but then like a kind of a shitty jacket on top of it. It's just weird.
What about you, Dave?
You see a pretty tall, like pretty skinny, human, long brown hair. He's got a pretty nicely woven blue cloak on. I know that's brown, but he's wearing a blue cloak. His eyes are kind of like a dark gray, but they never seem to rest. Like they're constantly like looking around, soaking everything in, observing his environment. His brows are like forever kind of knit together, like he's constantly in deep thought, continual deep thought. There's a book. For those who are very observant, there's a book strapped to the innards of his cloak. It's hanging off of a chain that's fastened to his belt. And he's got this like leather worn pouch that dangles across his shoulder. It's like within nice, quick, easy reach. Dark stains along his fingertips, and he's wearing a sapphire ring. It's got like two crows facing in opposite directions with like a sliver of a moon. And his cloak has kind of a similar symbol, like right above his chest. And he's kind of got like a sweet, musky kind of smell. If you got really close to him.
It's very.
The one who touched and illuminated the rope.
Nice.
Oh yeah. You see somebody who's kind of shrouded. He's hiding his face as best as he can, but underneath the shroud that hangs over his head, is a very calm glow that's coming out through his eyes, so it's still kind of illuminating, even so he keeps his head down as much as possible. If you can catch a good enough glimpse, depending on how long you've been in the city, you may be able to recognize him. He's 5'3", so he's like a Tom Cruise size. And but he looks almost crazy fit. And that's about it. The rest of him, he looks like he's dressed very simply, not extravagant. Everything about him screams simple.
Nice.
You said his eyes were glowing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A light bluish, ghostly blue.
Yeah, with the build of a stout Tom Cruise-like fighter and a strange glow and aura about him.
And a simple biped.
Well, as all the commotion comes in, as I said, you kind of see this almost brutish but beautiful half orc push through like the drunken friends who were holding onto this guy. Some of you might have seen her here before. If not, like she's a striking figure, like over 7 feet tall. Just shoves him out of the way, grabs hold of the rope. The guy is clear, like the rope has stopped moving at this point. Like she's helped it finish quickly, and she's just like holding it and smiling. And there's like mumbling and shouts of like, "You can't do this, Yagra!" Ah! on, and like she's just like holding her ground. None of them, they're kind of like reaching at their weapons at the side that they do have, but none of them are doing anything about it, and she's just smiling. I
shout
Alatar,
out, "Drop it!"
He says, "Oh, I'm helping him down," and like he kind of keeps going and going. Eventually, the rope stops, and when it does, Alatar, you clearly see the pendant around her neck is this like red gemstone with the symbol of a flying black snake, and that's something that you recognize as being related to the Zentarum, one of like the major factions within Waterdeep and all of the Sword Coast, really.
Okay.
I'd say all of you can make an insight check. Just being a part of the city, you may or may not know certain things.
Give me a second. Going to my skills.
Okay, all of you clearly know, although Dante, you clock this more than most, that these two groups represent two of the biggest players in the current gang wars that have been plaguing the city right now. The Zentarum and the Xanathar Guild have been openly at war in the streets, and the blood is spilling out everywhere. And this is an unheard of thing in recent history for Waterdeep. Just give me 1 minute. I'll get some water here.
That was the Xanathar and the Zentarum?
That is correct.
Okay.
Like the Xanathar?
Xanathar Guild is like a known, well, sort of known, although people might not want to admit they know it, underground, basically gang. Not a guild in the traditional sense. And none of you on the surface probably know a whole lot about them, probably. But you've heard rumors. Like the Zentarum at least have a public-facing, pretty legit operation. The Xanathar are rumored to just be like thugs and thieves and basically like the underbelly. Like there's even a rumor of some underground city like where like the docks like go into like this underground, under the mountain, back channel seaport town called Skullport, that some of you have heard rumors of. But other than that, like, on the surface, it's like clear to you this is some sort of like gang on gang little tiff that's happening right now.
Oh, and she's representing the Zentarum.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's throwing their colors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you kind of see a lot of most of the people kind of back away from the the plank that walks out over the portal and the portal itself when this starts to happen. Um, and at this point, the rope has stopped moving. It's reached the bottom, wherever that is. Um,
Can they
and
see the light
uh,
from the light cantrip?
no, you can't. Like from all the way down there, you cannot see it. And basically, the four men have kind of like backed off, like they're standing very very close to her. Two of them remain, like the other two have kind of like backed off. One never left the table, he's just kind of standing nearby. um the It's been about 1 minute right now, and someone at the bar shouts 1 minute, and like there's people cursing and getting angry.
What is she? Does she look? Like she's about to cut the rope, or is that what her intention is to do?
She's got it wrapped around her arm. Like, she doesn't appear like she's trying to cut it. It looks like she's trying to prevent these guys from pulling it up.
Yeah.
You know,
I yell out, she scared him off! Look how scared they are!
Trying to
Since I'm standing around this. Oh, hold on. Let me ask you a question because this will dictate a choice I'm thinking about. Hold on. Get to your name.
Shit, let me check something real quick.
Alatar sips his wine and opens up a book that he's kind of got like sheathed almost at his side. Like he kind of opens up his cloak and like, and he just kind of like opens it up.
It's not
Like-
glowing, is it?
No, it's not glowing. It's just it looks like just like kind of an old book.
So there's the tavern itself. Like after the 1 minute shout starts to get really really quiet. And oh, sorry, I didn't see you miss me. Let me just check messages real quick.
I would almost say at the like as things get quiet, Alatar actually kind of like starts looking around at that point, maybe, because it's kind of like when kids, like when it gets really quiet, there's something wrong.
I am right at this moment when I see her arm wrapping around. Since I was at this tunnel looking down at the light, and I noticed the tattoo, I try to say to her simply, "I see you were challenging people for an arm wrestling contest. Are you still taking on any new challengers?" I speak really slow.
Like as you're speaking across the way. So like as you say this, you hear, like right before you say this, you hear one of the guys trying to stop her, saying like, and he's drunk, right? He's drunk as hell. Like he's like, "You can't do this, Yagra," and Yagra just pushes him to the ground, back away from the thing, almost goes like rolling backwards. And the other guy himself kind of like starts to like back away. And she looks at you and says, "We can arm wrestle when I'm done playing with my food."
She scared him off again! Look at those pussies!
But I might not be here much longer.
She just smiles and shrugs, still like kind of clinching like the rope around her arm. And during this like little back and forth exchange, you see like the guy who just got pushed down, the one who's been like at the table the whole time, like chugging and kind of like finding his courage, like him and the other guy who got pushed away first initially, appear to be like reaching for their weapons, sort of taking advantage of this little back and forth that she has, like almost like this distraction that you've caused. And you kind of hear him say, "You pig. First you go and kill me, mate. Now you try to off-crent. And he lunges for her. And he just like drunkenly like trips and drops his weapon past the stairs before he even like makes it up to them. And she's just like chortling. And during this, like, you kind of hear from back at the bar, Durnan just like shouts, "We don't want a scene, do we?"
Yeah! Scene! 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 Start chanting.
I love that.
Someone interrupts all this and shouts, 2 minutes! It's getting quiet and sort of tense again.
Oh, I smack the guy next to me. I'm like, dude. I don't say dude. I say, friend, well played. Try to get her really distracted. And I yell back at this guard, what are you going to do? Just let her boss you around like that? Yeah. Keep going with the arm wrestling thing. Do it.
I looked at him, and I was going to do it anyways. But things take a little bit of time to sink in with me. And then I turned back to her.
That painted a really good picture for me of how you rolled some of your stats.
What do you have against him? Why can't we just arm wrestle? He could be down there forever.
Yeah.
And as you
Are you afraid that little old me could defeat? Well, I mean to insult, but big you?
Yeah, keep going with that.
In almost like perfect unison, like as you say this, she turns away from the guy she just knocked back and turns to consider you like once more. And she kind of like cocks her head a little bit. And it's right in this moment that there's like ding, 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 ding of like a distant bell echoing up through the portal. And like between like all of the various distractions, like everyone but the guy who just tripped, like the other 3 sort of drunk buddies of this guy, like take this moment to just charge forward, and all 3 of them collectively, it takes all 3 of them, shove her down away from the overhang, and they grab the rope and start pulling him in. Just shy of almost 3 minutes. There is an audible sound of booing. For people who
Coming from me.
Yeah. And they begin hauling him up like rapidly. Yagra, this big 7-foot-ish half-orc woman, looking a little startled now and defensive, kind of like steals her glances between the drunken group and this guy who keeps, yelling at her that he wants to arm wrestle in the middle of her little tiff.
I'm not yelling. Just to be clear. She may think that.
She might think that. Suddenly, the guy that the drunkards called Kurt once more starts to rise. You can see the light kind of preceding him, and he starts to rise back up in his underwear, bald head, and you can now clearly see like the tattoos, and he's holding in one hand the bell and in the other the empty tankard that he threw down triumphantly. His face is like clenched with anger, his skin is red with rage, and he kind of goes and he looks at her, he just like steps off the thing onto the platform towards Yagra, who's accurately a bit more like down at the stairs now. These guys kind of pulled him in, and like everyone's kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Yes, you're trying to off me, and he's just like pounding his chest, and he's again pretty much naked now, and he goes just pushing through his buddies and lunges at her with his fist. The half orc, like laughing, just cracks her knuckles audibly through the air of the tavern, and people, like the sound of like chairs, tables moving back, like bar fight shit is ensuing. Whether or not you're participating, you should probably just roll initiative.
Oh shit!
I just wanted to arm wrestle.
That's very fair for this situation.
Is that what she said to me?
One second.
Oh.
Amphidy, I have a question.
Yeah.
I cast light on the rope. I'm
Yes.
sure it got far enough away that I couldn't necessarily see it, but could I get a gauge of how far down it was?
1 second.
Or maybe if there's anything around there? Like,
You lost any kind of visibility past the 40-foot mark down. So wherever this guy went, he went well below 40 feet, 40, 50 feet.
Good. That brings up maybe one more question for you. Hold on, let me get to see my abilities real quick. Okay. Even though I put light on it, I didn't necessarily need it.
You didn't.
I
Sorry.
can see through it. I can see through up to 60 feet in total darkness.
Yeah. So
does that help me see anything down there?
Or
does it go past that even still?
It goes past that even still. Yeah.
Okay.
Like this. You've heard a lot of strange things about the Yawning portal. All of them so far proving to be true.
Okay. Cool.
So, these guys are clearly about to fucking get into it. He goes charging forward. We can properly maybe put him as Krent since his buddies keep calling him that. And he just fucking swings at her. Kind of opens up. Let me do this. Swings and hits, and I'm just using that for the stats. Does a 4 points of damage.
Direct hit!
Clean clock. She gets one immediate response before we go into the initiative turn order.
She picks him up and throws him off the edge.
Oh no!
Taken back by the punch, this guy's lackeys like move in, and the drunk guy that tripped and dropped his weapon comes in behind and like grapples her, or tries to anyway. He will make an opposed strength. Whoa, that's pretty good.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
He initially grapples her, but it's clear like he's not going to be able to hold on for very long. Now, let me just do a little.
They're finally going to take her down tonight.
What are you all doing?
I'm reading my book and sipping my wine.
Perfect.
As I stand here, I want to look to I don't know his name yet, but the flamboyant drow, and just kind of say, "Are you gonna do anything about this?"
Oh. I'm doing it. I need a refill. Bonnie, get over here. I shake my mug.
You just hold it up in the air.
There's a
friend. I'll buy you a round.
Semicircle crowd that's formed along the south side of the well.
Okay.
Friend, I'll buy you a round. Did you put any money on that? He came back in 2 minutes. I thought he was gonna be gone.
I did. I should I have?
Yeah, it's a good way to make money. Or not, but it's a thrill.
Okay.
Oh.
Bonnie
eventually pushes through the large crowd now and manages to take your order as well as the table behind you.
Two, one for me and my friend.
All right. He's kind of like, makes her way around. Okay. Krentz, taking advantage of the quickly restrained, but probably not for long, Yagra, with advantage, goes to punch her right in the face.
Baby maker.
Oh, yeah. And he just glances.
Rank eyebrows.
The other friend near the top of the steps takes out like an actual weapon, swings and misses. Dante, you continue to observe.
Are the drinks here yet?
No, probably not till next round.
Okay.
Asking the important questions.
Well, because if anything, that was going to be my attack roll. I'm gonna attack this beer when it gets back. This ale. I'm gonna hold my turn until the ale returns, so that I can. If it gets here at the end of this turn, I'll use my
Okay.
my roll to drink it.
All right. Kind of like jumping down off the platform, trying to like flank Yager from the other side. This guy also takes out his scimitar, real weapon mode, swings and hits. Just another glancing blow. Like this half orc is clearly holding her own. Schmidt.
Oh!
Is this really how you make money?
No, the money part's gone. I already lost the bet. But I could get into some mischief here. Let me, the guy who went down, who's now fighting in his underwear.
Yep.
I want to, I'm gonna cast dancing lights above his head.
Okay,
And
perfect.
Whistle a little like, and then give him like these like 4 little orbs that just dance around his head.
Nice. And now that you're looking more clearly at the front of him, you see that not only does he have that like very graphic symbol, he's got a very colorful symbol of like many eyes on his bald head, just tattooed right on the skin. And it looks like a beholder.
Oh shit.
A butt holder.
A butt holder.
No, it's
That's
a
what I
monster.
It's a butt holder.
Oh yeah.
So dancing lights, concentration, right?
Yeah.
So they're just dancing all
I'm
around
like,
this guy?
Yeah, I'm wiggling my fingers to like just have him go around his head. I'm like, it looks like he's dizzy.
Love it. Okay. Gentleman at the bar reading a book.
I just kind of like raise my hand and kind of like snap. Hey, excuse me, is it always like this? And I kind of like look over my shoulder at all the fighting. I'm asking the barkeep.
People are like kind of shrugging, like, eventually like one of the bar hands, not Durin himself, but like one of the bar hands, like, it's usually pretty quiet, but every few nights we get some action.
Do you happen to have the time at least?
Oh yeah, it's he tells you it's pretty much the equivalent of like about 9 o'clock at night.
Do we know when we were actually supposed to meet?
Your
Our contact.
It was supposed to be around 9:30.
Okay. Okay. And I just kind of like open my I just get back to my book. I've left on a riveting part about the history of Waterdeep, one of the Waterdeep families.
Oh, okay. All right. The battle continues to rage on. Finally, Yagra just like sends this guy flying back, and he smacks against like the outer wall of this private dining room to the northwest. He takes 3 points of damage from the collision of that. It's enough to almost like knock his drunk ass out. And that's just her getting started. She actually reaches for her mace now. It's big ass mace. And swings it right at Krentz.
And starts smacking the guy next to me. Please get the mace.
Staring at like the dancing lights around his face, like it's almost like dizzying. She swings and just misses. And the guy down on the ground takes his action to kind of stand up and sort of like backs away, and you can see him starting to like load a light crossbow. Like he's gonna shoot her from behind. The guy at the top of the platform steps forward, says, "Let me through!" and he just pushes the other guy like down the stairs, and like they're just completely surrounding her at this point. He swings bare-fisted and misses. Bonnie comes back with your drinks.
Oh, Bonnie!
How many ounces is this?
Fuck, I don't know. How big's like a really, really large stein? Was that like 40 ounces?
It's a yard. It's one of the
Yes.
yard.
There you go.
You're saying it's 40 ounces?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go with 40. It's a 40 ounce.
Okay. I drank that. I drank this much of it, actually.
Nice.
I drank 12 ounces.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
fast! Me too,
Okay.
me too.
And I already feel it.
All right.
I see why you like this.
Anything else before the round ends? Or are you just enjoying your drink?
And as I thank him, I punch him on the shoulder, but I punch him real. Like it's normal for me, but I would think that
It's
he
like,
might feel it.
oh,
Thanks for that.
oh god, my arm, my arm. Not my beer arm though. Hopefully.
No, that's the other one. Obviously.
Krentz, still naked, returns fire at Yagra, hits and punches
shit.
for 2 more points of damage. She is holding her own in this 1v4 right now.
Take Yagra.
The other
No
guy,
one's ever taken Yagra.
the other guy with the sword rolls a natural 1. She catches his hand, takes the sword, and throws it down the well, and uses his own hand to start punching him in the face. She misses. Well, she doesn't miss, but it's like not enough to do damage. But she still disarms the fucker. Dante's still enjoying your drink.
Wait, I finished. Oh my god, I took
Oh
another
my
one.
god, you finished it.
You finished it.
And so as I'm stumbling over here, I'm gonna say, hey, 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 hey.
Some of them turn and look at you like.
I
wow.
just wanted to arm wrestle. I say that to whatever Yagar or whatever. Anyway.
Yagra.
Yagra.
Yeah.
You just want an arm wrestle.
She's like, help me deal with these backstabbing scum, and you'll get your chance.
I can't do that. I just want to arm wrestle.
Then you'll have to wait. And she's still like slapping the guy with his own hand. Not really doing damage, more
Okay, what
just
I'm gonna
like
do then-
demeaning.
I have a curiosity. Does any of these guys in the middle of this fight who are drunk and everything, they don't recognize? They don't give me any mind, right?
No, and I kind of imagine too, like with your clothing and your garments, like you just look like some stocky, like mysterious fighter type right now. No one seems to recognize you.
I know they're all fighting. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep making my way over there. A little bit. I'm not feeling. I'm not feeling great, but
Yeah. Okay. You're just gonna move a little bit closer slowly after chugging your drink and hold there.
yeah, there's something I want to do.
Are you still holding your pint or your glass?
The empty
Mug?
tankard.
I probably threw it into the pit as I was walking by.
Oh no! Oh.
Did you hear it break as it bounced down?
Yeah.
But there's an ability I'm not seeing that I should have.
It might not be on your actions tab, but it might be on your abilities tab.
Okay, let me look at my abilities.
I'll have to. I gotta pimp those out before our next session.
Yep, there it is. Okay. Actually, now I know that they were looking at me. Some of them were looking at me when I was walking over here.
Yep.
Let me tell you what I'd like to do.
Okay.
I'd like to go. Stylistically, I'd like to after they all look at me, I'd like to drunkenly stumble over here and tap her on the shoulder and say, "You promised me we're gonna arm wrestle." And as I do it, I'm gonna use healing hands on her.
Ooh, okay.
And then I want her to recognize that, and then I'm gonna walk away.
Okay.
Just walk out of range. Like they're all looking at me.
People are just like, what the fuck? Like that guy really wants to arm wrestle.
Just want to arm wrestle.
Love it.
Well, you think I could make money that way?
Yeah, you do that, and like she clearly like she kind of gets what you're putting down.
Okay.
At least she thinks she does.
Okay, then I stay at this great. I'd lean against this.
Oh, I saw that happen.
Yeah, you definitely did. Okay, yeah, you lean there, and like as you lean there, like the guy who's like clocking you that you just sort of brushed past to do this, moves forward to her, and with his scimitar, which he still currently has, he swings and fucking misses.
Wait,
yeah.
Healing hands. What does that do? How many?
It's just one hit point per your level.
Equal to your level.
Yeah, it's pretty minor. But there was like a little bit of a tingle, you know. She felt the tingle.
Oh my god. Okay. That's all that matters.
Oh my god. Seeing that, I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's good and crazy. I'm gonna run over to the bar, like, Bonnie, I need another. Give me another drink. Durden, give me another bite. I'm gonna take it. As soon as I get it, I'm gonna like run it over.
Okay. All right.
He needs fuel.
At this point, they literally have like the bar lined up with like filled frothing tankards because they're tired of like taking orders during the chaos. So like you literally they just push 2 forward, take your money, and you go, and you're therefore able to do all of this in one rushed turn. And
I'm just running up to you. Get us another one. Get in there.
I don't even know your name. Thanks. I drink that much, one slip.
right out of the way.
Damn, friend. Damn.
Alatar, you, much to your annoyance, like all of the beer back and forth spill, like you've had to kind of like take your book off the bar at this point and like hold it in your hand. And it's at this moment that you kind of, it probably caught your attention, like you were reading, but you saw it out of the corner of your eye when this guy splatted against the wall, and the knocking sound of his crossbow sort of also drew your attention, and you looked straight north to this private chamber, and you saw peeking out the image of Obaya, the woman that you were supposed to meet.
Ooh.
Oh.
This does not look like her
Interesting.
establishment.
It's definitely not her establishment.
Yeah.
I get up out of my chair and I start walking this way, and as I do, I see that rank eyebrows guy. So annoying. And I just kind of put my hand to my temple and I focus on him and I send a message to him. That sounds something a little like, "This is the voice of God. You better get the fuck out of this tavern." And I just kind of like leave it at that as I keep walking.
Make an intimidation check.
So good at that.
With advantage because he just heard a voice of God inside his head.
I was thinking he's drunk off of his
Yeah,
ass.
and he's drunk off his
like,
ass
any
and-
voice.
Yeah. Okay. You can see the guy like he's like just finished knocking the bolt into the crossbow. It's like loaded, but he just starts like quivering and looking around, and he gently puts the crossbow down, fully loaded and knocked still, and starts like walking backwards towards the bar into the crowd.
I want you to know, like, I'm still holding my book like this as I just did, like, and then I kind of like as I'm walking, just kind of skimming through the pages.
With that, you that's one action. I think you'd still be able to go maybe like another 10 feet.
I just imagine like bodies flying.
I walked like 30 feet.
Oh, you already did 30. Okay, yeah, sorry.
You know,
Yeah. So yeah, it's a casual stroll with some messages and such.
I'm not feeling urgent at all.
Perfect. The guy that Yagra is still gently like starting to slow down and slapping with, she now pushes him back a little bit and swings once at him. Definitely hits. And splats him back into the ground. She draws the mace back, now just like arcing blood through the air in slow motion, and swings at Krentz again and hits his naked ass. She smashes him, and he goes staggering back, like bludgeoned from the blow. And she's just like, "Rah!" And she looks over to you and says, "We'll wrestle soon!"
Oh.
This guy.
I start
is just
chanting,
meandering
arm
away.
wrestle, arm wrestle, arm wrestle. I didn't know how to chant when I first walked in here, by the way, but now I've learned.
I join in.
Arm wrestle, arm wrestle.
It's the rest of it.
Did you drink the rest of the beer?
This guy slashing with his scimitar hits and does 4 points of damage. We go back to Krentz, who's still kind of like dazed now with a little bit of a disadvantage. He's looking a little taken aback after everything he's been through. Swings and smashes at her and rolls a natural one. She drops her mace next to her within arm's reach and grabs both of his arms and is just like holding him right now.
I just start cracking up.
Throw him in the pit.
they're kind of they
Everybody's
are
yelling
like
that.
she did kind of like move up onto the platform while grappling him, and they're just fighting each other. He's like, like straight legged back, like kind of like. Dante, what are you doing?
Oh, dude, I am just watching.
Yeah, all right, love it.
If he goes down the pit, I get my gold. Because he technically never made it back, right? Right? That's how that works?
You hear someone like whisper, like, I don't think that's how it works.
Shit. I just start chanting for
I don't
everything.
think that's how that works.
I try to get
you-
closer view.
Yeah, as you start to get a little closer, you hear like a flitting sound. It's like, and
Oh.
it's coming from the well.
Oh no! Do you hear that?
Oh.
What?
That
What are you
doesn't
doing,
sound
Dante?
like where we were. It doesn't sound like where we were. I look down.
You look
Or
down,
mental
and still, like with your vision and the light kind of still clinging to the rope, I imagine. Your drinking hasn't broken it yet. You see like a dark figure climbing arm over arm up the fucking inner wall of the well.
Holy
It's like
shit.
this massive form. You can't really tell what it is. It's
My
making
first
strange
thought-
sounds.
Ailman, we need to step back.
Oh,
And I take Ailman and I start to push him. I'm trying to like with me staying between him and the well.
I go with you.
I'm gonna stand like right here.
At this point, like only you, Ailman, and like the two wrestling on the thing seem to have paused. Like even Yagra, like Krentz probably hasn't seen it. He's like holding here and looking, but like Yagra kind of like looks at you backing away, hears the sound, looks down as well, and then all of a sudden this like massive thing, like it's picking up speed. It's like the last thing you see just comes leaping over the ledge and onto the platform. And you hear like the crowd go like whoa, and you see this like 8 to 9 foot hulking green skinned form with greasy long hair and these massive growths on its back that almost seem to give the illusion that like the skin itself is animated or moving. Let me just do.
That's what's down there.
And it looks something like this.
Oh shit.
Whoa!
Gross.
No way. To be honest, I always thought it was bullshit.
Anyone within eyesight can make a check of their choosing to see if they identify this thing in the moment.
A check is in like
Yeah, like a
investigation or perception
no,
or
it'd be
arcana,
more like
history.
Arcana, like for you, like Arcana or History would be valid, or Insight.
Oh, great. I'm really distracted by my book. I was getting to a really
it's a
good
good
part,
book.
and it gets yelling at me, and I'm like, ugh, and I like close and sheath my book, but
What it was on the next page. You were
Yeah.
so close.
it's so close.
It's more like it's more something
Okay.
rooted in like whether or not you would be able to identify this thing. So I think it'd be more under like History, Insight, maybe Nature.
Okay.
Okay.
I know nothing either.
You all have your suspicions. Schmidt, you above all else start to think like that maybe this is some kind of troll. And as you're like saying this kind of like in shock, I think, you hear from behind the bar, Durnan just starts ringing the dipping bell as like a sort of alarm. He just yells, "Troll!" And like everyone starts like running for it, like whether it's to go upstairs to the upper levels or out the doors or to the far corners of the bar. But this thing is like crawled up onto the platform, and Krentz is like the closest thing to him right now. Let me just put this on the map so you can see what I mean.
I start cracking up again. It's a poor troll. The poor
What?
troll.
Poor troll.
The yawning poor troll.
Oh!
Ah! Like crying down there. He's laughing so hard. Right?
I'd say Alatar, you spot Durnan reaching under the bar, and he kind of like pulls out like this big ass sword, and you can see him climbing on top of the bar, like sort of signaling everyone away, and he's like, "Any help gets a free round on me. Focus on those fucking things." And like as you see that, like the growths on his back start like taking flight. Some of them just flit and fall down the well. Others sort of fly around him, and there are these like blood bloated bat bug creatures. And they've like clearly like they're like hanging off of his skin, like they've been feeding on him or attached to him in some way. And let me just put a couple of these guys out
Where?
here.
Oh, the creature's there. Okay.
Yeah,
and there's
hold on.
like little things flying all around it.
Yeah, like 3 of them have visibly like flown off from him.
Oh.
And Durnan shouts, "Focus on the Sturges!"
Sturgis. Is it this flying thing?
Yeah, these little flying blood insect things. And they're just like swarming about the room. Like these ones aren't like the really fat ones seem to have like just floated and glided back down the well after they peeled off from his body. And these 3 are a little scrawnier and appear to be like flitting about the tavern. We were on Dante. It's technically still your turn, Dante.
I unsheath my longsword and I put it in both hands.
Okay.
And I say, "You said we get more of the ale."
Yes, technically.
Then let's do this. I'm like really excited right now. Like this is the most emotion and excitement you've seen out of me so far. And it's probably due to the booze. If I were a betting man.
Cool. I made your longsword a 2-hander on your sheet, so that should
Right
be all
here.
good. Okay.
Let's do this.
You draw. So basically, drawing your weapon is basically just considered part of your action in 5th edition. So I missed that last part. You drawing it, you're holding there, or are you moving in?
They're like over the hole.
Sorry?
They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess how far can I move?
Yeah, you'd have a hard time. Like if you want to wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I think.
This guy still kind of not fully taking it all in his drunk state goes into Yagra, who's like pinning his friend, and like seeing the troll like is just like beating on her in the back and tries to just punch her right in the kidney and connects and does 2 points of damage, but it's like it's in such a choice spot that she like loses her grapple on Krantz, which only sends him a little bit closer to the weakened troll that's standing here. One of the Sturges flies off and goes towards like the fresh blood over here and like flits down and starts trying to like almost like a giant mosquito attack and bite at one of the drunk guys, and he dodges.
Speaking of mosquito, there's still a bunch of dancing light over Krank's head. Krantz's head. So I don't know if that attracts them to him or not.
Yeah, almost like like mosquitoes to the light. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, friend. Let's do this. I'm gonna step out from behind you, and then I'm gonna let loose a point my hand and firebolt.
Ooh, okay.
How do I turn this into combat? How do I?
You just talking.
There it is. Got it.
Yep.
Ha!
Ooh, nice.
I hit
you erupt with like a burst of fire at the thing, and immediately just send it like dropping like a flaming carcass down
I
back
rushed
into
to the edge
well.
so I can watch it fall. Does it when it's falling and it's on fire? Is it illuminating the sides? Like, do I see more
Yes.
trolls coming up?
You do not, but you can still see like the
Okay.
silhouette of like the other. It was probably like 3 or 4 other of these scourge creatures, like the bloated forms, descending back down into the well.
Yeah. They're weak. Yeah, shoot him.
Okay, and you're holding position there at the edge.
Yeah.
Okay. We go to Alatar.
I sheath my book, like open up my cloak. I run forward. As I'm running past, I dip my hand. There's like, I assume there's tankards and shit all over tables.
Oh yeah.
I kind of dip my hand and I get like a piece of water. I smack it together and I like twist it and I do, and I throw out an ice knife at like this area. I want to hit the troll.
Okay.
But that's what I'm aiming for.
Okay. All right, yeah, like this shard of ice forms, and you throw it true, like a fucking baller. Like I don't know if you're just like pouring it out of like the tanker and like forming it into like this long dagger.
Yeah,
in
it's
motion.
like I dip my hand in, and like as I twist my hand up and around, they begin to freeze across my fingertips, and I just it's gone.
Cool. Okay. So it racks and explodes. I'm gonna have them make a saving throw real quick. On a hit, target takes a hit or miss the sin. Actually, so.
Oh, oops.
Ooh.
I didn't drop it on the guy.
No, but that's perfect because that's D. It's that he takes that damage, the troll.
Yes.
And then with the explosion, each creature within 5 feet must make a dexterity saving throw. So Krentz needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
And does he also the target? Yes, the target and the creatures have to.
Oh
make...
yeah. He does not.
He does not.
He does not. And then, so yeah, your second damage die, if you just want to roll it in chat, that's actually perfect, because then I can drop it. They take an additional... Krentz is in critical condition. The troll not so much, but Krentz is like just laid out from the shard of ice. And he's like it's like shrapnel that just sends him blasting back near Yagra almost. And that's it for you, yeah?
Yeah, I crouch, like, as soon as I do that, I'm like, and then I do that, like, duck behind the table and, crouch down with the thing behind me, and I'm like, okay.
Yagra's just kind of like... She, like, looks back behind her at the 2 drunk guys, one disarmed, and the troll, and the Krentz down on the ground, and she's looking to carve her way out of here. She goes and just smacks towards the guy on screen right, hits and just bludgeons the shit out of him, and like brings the momentum around into the other guy's ribs and knocks him away, not dead, but holy fuck. And she starts backing away, taking a defensive position, and you hear her like shouting to Durnan, like saying, "I've cleared the way for you." And like at this point, Durnan, like sword in hand, he was already on the bar, just kind of comes like hopping through and charges towards the area, and he just pushes right between Dante and Schmidt essentially. Just give him that. And we now go to the top of the order. And it's the troll. The troll pushes past, like with the frozen shards, he's kind of like looking towards Alatar, and in turn is basically looking straight through the two of you. And he's basically sees all of you and Durnan and just starts beelining like leaps towards you all. And Durnan is basically trying to like step in his path right now, and manages to. Let's see if he does. Hold on. He just barely manages to push you back a little bit, Schmidt.
Oh Jesus!
And the troll lands one claw at Durnan, and Durnan like clinks and stops it with the sword. It would have smacked you and probably one-shotted you. And like while his claws like pushing down on Durnan's blade, he tries to bite at Durnan, and he hits.
Oh no.
Durnan takes 7 points of biting damage from the troll. Just
my
like
life.
rips like a little piece of flesh off. Krentz, face down on the ground, seeing his moment, is trying to crawl away and is moving at like 1/3 the speed. And is just like crawling down the steps slowly. One of the sturges near where the troll was flies in after its host and goes to the next closest thing, which is you, Schmidt, and it swoops down, attacking and biting at you, and hits.
Easily.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
It like punches into you with its long, sharp nose and pierces your skin and starts like sucking blood out from you. It does not feel good. It's literally like clinging on to you right now. Like Dante, you are watching all of this as the drink man is being set upon.
I immediately take my longsword and try to cleave right through the beak and the brain of this thing.
All right, roll to hit.
Step in. Yep. Where's this action? All right, drop it on. Oops. Yeah. Okay, wait. No, wait. That's a 1 or a 2.
It's only on damage, I think. Let me double.
I thought it was
confirm.
on to hit.
Let me check. Fighting star. It is on the damage roll only, I'm afraid.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know if I might change that.
You can change. Yeah, you can rework that if you want.
That's not as useful as I thought it'd be.
Okay.
Okay.
You do like hit the thing, but it's not enough. To, like you were trying to do such a precise shot that it didn't really take effect.
I'm drunk.
Damage, and you're drunk. Yeah, your blade kind of smacked along the nose of this
I
thing.
hit it with the dull side of the blade
There you
somehow.
This guy is also trying to crawl away, but he is technically in melee range of the troll, who takes an attack of opportunity.
Oh no!
And swipes at him with a claw. And connects.
I hope he just grabs his head.
He literally just claws him up into the air, squeezes, and throws him down the well. There's like a...
Oh my god!
The Sturge is still feeding on the one guy who's been downed over here, and looking for something fresh and active. Swoops in.
Prince has a bunch of lights over his head still. Oh wait, no, I took a shit ton of damage. That spell broke.
Yeah, we don't need to roll for that. It definitely broke. Comes into Durnan.
Prince gets away.
And Durnan like ducks the thing, and it completely misses. Schmidt, this thing is still latched onto you.
Yeah.
Not feeling good.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab it.
Okay. Oh.
And then send electricity straight into it.
You just like grab the nose and almost like using the drunk guy's blade as a catalyst for the whole electrical shock. Just and like you, drunk Alatar, almost see like ripping cords of like electricity shoot out from your blade as if it were magic. And Schmidt, you just fucking incinerate the thing from the inside out, and it's like black char marks form out of nowhere, like.
Ugh. Oh, it smells.
And it's dead and in your grasp, and like it easily removes, but it's got that like sticking feeling as you pull it out.
The most impressive part is that he didn't get shocked. He didn't shock himself.
Yeah.
Alatar is surprisingly impressed by that.
And you can choose to do with the body what you will.
I want to throw it at Schmidt. No, I'm kidding. I just throw it over the edge.
Okay. You drop it over the edge.
God,
you are technically not close enough to be engaged in melee with the huge troll creature.
Oh shit, really?
So you could back away if you want. Yeah, you still have your move action.
I fucking run away. Wait, how far can I get? I run this way.
All right. You run right
and then
past the other guy you saw reading
Yeah,
from his book.
and I yell like, get away from that thing! Get away from that thing!
Altar, he brushes right past you.
I listen to him. And I'm like, okay. Um, I am going to from the droplets of water that are still in my hand. It's still moist, and so I kind of like put my hands together and I turn and twist and I cast. I do that. Nope.
Wait. That means he failed the saving throw, which is a good thing. So sorry. What?
That was frostbite.
Yeah, he failed the saving throw.
Oh, sweet.
So spells that aren't like ranged attacks, which many aren't, basically act like
It
the
just
roll
does
die
DC.
automatically
Cool.
rolls the saving throw for me, which is great, and he failed.
Okay. So I condense this like the moisture that's on my hands, and I turn it and twist it, and I throw it, and I aim for like his hand where he's holding, or I guess his claws if he has. I don't know if he has a weapon, but I aim for his hands.
Yeah. His claws. He's using his claws in his mouth, and he takes the damage. Okay.
And he also has disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay. Perfect. That's it for you, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. While you're there, you see the guy who you previously messaged, like still cowering in the crowd right next to you.
I turn to him and I'd be like, God wants you to shoot that troll. Go get your crossbow. And I use the same voice that I used in his head.
He's like, what? He looks at you, looks back at your thing, and you can see him clocking his crossbow just sitting next to the wall near
I do like
Obaya's chambers.
Go.
Yagra, like kind of like backing away and sort of taking the room. You see her unsure of like how to proceed, and like Durnan shouts over his left shoulder past the sturge he just ducked and says, "If you want to keep drinking my bark, kill this troll!" And she seems to kind of take it to heart and comes running back into the fray and flanks the troll from behind. Standing on the steps with like a little bit of high ground, she swings once with her mace, rolls a natural 20.
Oh, yeah.
Crunches into the fucking thing, swings again with the mace, hits, smacks from the back again, and Durnan's just like nodding yes. We come back to Durnan, wielding this big ass fucking sword now. Now that he's no longer defending anyone, he seems to have a different air about him, and he swings and hits, doing significant damage before he swings and so he, like, while trying to pull the blade back out, the troll just uses its hand to hold it stuck inside itself.
Ooh.
And roars in his face.
And just roars in his fucking face. And that guy is gone. So while still holding the blade, it's limiting his ability to use his claw attack, but he just fucking bites at him. And he rips at his flesh again, taking 7 points of damage. Krentz is still slow crawling his way the fuck out of
coward.
here. Dante.
Yeah. So quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want great weapon fighting because I thought it was on. Didn't know it was on damage
No
rolls. I
problem.
thought it was on attack rolls.
Yep.
The other one I was going to do was dueling.
Okay.
Since of my background.
Singular weapon. Yeah.
Yep. So with that in mind, I am going to go after this weakened troll.
Okay.
Barely stands.
I'll temporarily tweak your thing here. 1 second.
So the X that's over the weakened troll makes it look like he is.
Yeah.
Oh, did the troll have disadvantage?
He should have. Yeah, I thought the X was going to do, but I guess it did not, unfortunately. So let me.
That could have been because I didn't add that
again. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Yeah, he still would have hit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I'll figure out what the X is, but let me see if I can just clear it real quick. You should be. You can still attack right now. I'll figure out the X thing in a moment.
Okay. I'm looking at some of my options to color some flavor into this right now.
Okay.
Okay. I run right at it.
Okay.
Fucking slashing diagonally again. This time I'm gonna try and slash. Kind of hit a home run, you know. I just want
Yeah.
to hit a home run this
Okay.
way. Actually, you know, I come at it and I drag my sword onto the stone ground. As I lift up, you see sparks fly, and I hope that I cut right through this son of a bitch and I get my thing. And it uses this thing,
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That'll do it.
and then he does this thing.
Oh,
Okay.
I
okay.
wanted that to roll around one more time.
You slice into the troll a little bit, who's like clutching fucking Durnan's sword with one hand and biting into his body with his mouth. Like, you just take this opportunity to swing at him. The Sturge is still flitting about Durnan, trying to break skin on his own, and connects. And does 4 points of damage. Schmidt.
I turn around and I see Bonnie. Bonnie, I killed 2 of those things. You saw that, right?
I don't see shit. I'm busy back here.
What? I'm helping. I'm helping. And then I like get up on top of that table, or not get up, but like lean against the table, push my arm on it, and I like firebolt at this Sturge here.
Okay. You send like a blazing firebolt up towards like the rafters.
Yeah, I'm helping, and I run back.
Bonnie turns back to her business.
And I say, like, look, seriously, you saw it. I killed 2 of those things.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
let-
yes, yes. I saw it. Get behind the thing.
Yeah, don't let Durnan die. We don't get free drinks if he dies.
Okay, okay.
Alatar?
I picture just in my head. I like close my eyes and I just focus down and I see just like a giant bell tower. I'm like, yeah. And I picture it and I cast Toll the Dead because it's just gotta fucking happen.
Yeah. Okay. He fails, which means you roll damage on him.
Oh, and it's a D12 because he's already damaged.
Yep.
And
Enhanced.
not as much as I hoped, but
you do a small amount of damage.
Which is impressive because I'm shouting in your ear while you're doing this.
yeah. While you're doing that, I reach my hand up and grab a tankard and just like take a sip, and then I pass it to you.
Lots of hands makes the
Goes a
world.
little pour it
He
on my
did-
wound.
He did say free drinks.
He said it.
Yagra
You saw me. I saw you. You're
still
helping.
making good on this. Swings twice and connects twice, trying to beat the troll off of Durnan, and like while doing so, basically helps disconnect and allow him to pull his blade out. She hits not once but twice, and we go to. I'm going to get rid of this guy since he is not doing so well. But the drunk guy you've re-inspired eventually does start kind of creeping over to his crossbow, picks it up, and he tries to fire a shot at the Sturge since it's blocking his line of sight to
Get
the
him.
troll.
Get him.
He tries to fire and line this thing up drunkenly, trying to hit this fucking creature. Not a chance in hell. And we come back to Durnan, now with his sword free, slashes twice at the troll. Like, he rips the blade out, tries to swing immediately. It's fucking terrible. But he gains his composure back, swings and hits. And he's chunking away at the thing. And he starts shouting, "We'll need fire!" The troll bites at Durnan once more. Oh, it did not roll. Whoops. And misses, but then immediately starts clawing at his face and connects for 8 points of damage.
No, not Durnan.
Krentz is pretty much like hiding under a chair at this point. We don't care about him. And we go to Dante. Side by side next to Durnan. You can hear him say, "Keep hacking at him, boy."
I also heard he said we need
Fire.
Oh, you know what? That's too smart. You can't do that.
You're in the blood frenzy right now.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
totally.
my god.
That'd be a different. That'd be a nine thing.
I love your character right now.
I'm not really happy that I didn't cleave through this thing, so I'm just gonna kind of like a golfer goes back through the same motion.
Yeah. You gotta put another ball on the tee here and try that again.
Yeah. I need to put this in my hot bar here. Okay.
Oh yeah. You're hacking. You're hacking real good.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
Look at
way
that one
better.
go.
Yeah. You're starting to really hack into him.
And then I say, lots of hands makes for little work. Because we're all doing very little.
The Sturge takes the opportunity and finally plunges into Durnan, doing 5 points of damage.
No.
Schmidt, what are you doing?
Oh. I slap myself in the face a bunch of times. Okay, fine. We're doing this. And I give myself advantage with
Okay.
the tides.
Ooh.
And then I firebolt again.
Now is that something that triggers all the things right when that happens immediately?
No, it's next time when I do something I can refresh it.
All right, let me know. Yeah. Okay, so you gain advantage and you needed it.
Yes. No.
Oh yeah. Okay. You blast the Sturge with a fire, and it kind of at least flies off of Durnan, disconnecting from its attachment.
Save Durnan! Save the drinks!
Holding here in this position.
Oh.
I give him a thumbs up.
Yeah. You're helping too. You're helping. I'm gonna run over here just so I can kind of like chase this guy. I'm gonna stand behind this guy though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I yell after you. So wait, do you do fire? Do we need fire?
We need
Do
fire.
you
Fire! I fired. Fire! And I yell at the guy next to me. Fire!
Jordan's like, yeah, fire! We need fire!
Is there
For the
like
troll!
are there oil lamps around somewhere?
Yeah.
Where's the nearest oil lamp to me?
To you, like either here or here.
Okay.
You can use the map art for that. That's good enough.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I'll run up here. I'll grab whatever I can from that and start making. If that counts as an action,
Bonus
that's
action.
Totally fine, but,
Bonus action.
Okay. So while that's happening, I'm like, I don't do fire, but I can do something else, and I keep my hands moist. They're still moist from before.
Hands.
Clammy hands.
He succeeds on his saving throw.
Fucking
Yeah.
20.
And I just keep running towards the table down here.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Frostbite, damn.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
We're
All right.
helping so good.
All right. And you're holding the lantern right now. Whatever.
Yeah. I've got the lantern like as much oil. I don't know, but that's normal lantern.
Okay. Yagra still trying to. She. It's clear she doesn't want to piss Durnan off. Swings and misses, but manages to come back around again and connect, bludgeoning the troll a bit more. Although this thing is fucking just meaty. The guy that you're sort of cowering behind, Schmidt, knocks another bolt into his crossbow. And I don't know, that's how some patrons saw it. Fires and connects.
No,
and
the bug, not that
What?
thing, the bug.
I thought we were shooting the big thing this time.
No,
And he's
the
just like
Sturge.
drunken, like okay, and he's like cocking another bolt in there. Durnan swinging his big ass sword, connects once, cleaves back again with a natural 20. Holy fuck! And then the second hit takes the troll. The troll's like drop down. It's like kind of holding on with one hand, and like Durnan just punches the sword down, blade first into it, pinning his hand there. Says, "Douse it with fire now!" The troll tries to claw with its one free hand back at Durnan. Only gets one attack this time. Does connect. and defiantly scratches out 10 more points of damage. Dante, at this point, Dern is basically at the lip of the well wall, pinning the troll in there with his hand.
Okay. I remember I have a torch in my bag. I don't have very many things in there. I grab a torch. How does this torch light?
Like as you pull the torch out, I imagine like you're like looking at it like fire and you fire, and like you turn and look behind you, and there's big like on each table behind you there are like lit lanterns sitting on the table, like oil lanterns. So you might not be quick or sharp. Maybe you look at them and then light it. What do you do? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna run to the table, get fire. I'm gonna come back, which is just I have a little bit more movement. I have 5 more speed of movement, so I'll be good on this.
Okay.
And I light it on my way back. Is like my.
Now, are you actually lighting your torch, or just grabbing the whole like assembly?
Oh, I'm lighting my torch.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
smart enough to grab the assembly.
All right, you come back with like your torch lit in hand.
And
Darren's
then I
just like,
jam it.
yeah,
Face.
yeah.
Open its mouth.
And like as you're doing this, like you've seen enough during the fight that like some of like the bigger wounds from Durnan and like even yours like have started to heal. They start to heal. So like the big ass wound that Durnan's just made now looks like the only target for the fire.
Okay, I fucking jam my hand in the torch, and I hold it inside. Hold them steady.
Nice.
So that the fire can burn.
All right, the fire, like it's starting on like some of the wounds. It's like more fire, and like you're holding it there. It's everything you can do, like with this thrashing massive thing to just keep the fire lit and sort of like burning the wounds essentially. And while you're in this struggle, the last Sturge comes swooping back in behind Durnan and just continues to like flit about him, attacking, trying to suck his blood, and misses. Schmidt.
Okay. I keep slapping the dude next to me. I'm like, get that bug.
Yeah, like every now and then he's like drunkenly like turning and pointing towards like Durnan or the troll.
No, the
and,
bug.
And then like a turret, you point him at the bug.
Okay, so is the weakened troll prone or is it's still standing?
He'd be pretty hard for you to see right now. Like he's literally like hanging and clawing on the inner side of the well right now. You can see like his head pop up every now and then in his form, but he's definitely got like almost full cover as far as you're concerned.
Okay, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. Hopefully I can just drop this. Okay, okay. Would I be able to see him from like here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and then I firebolt.
Okay.
The weakened troll. Ah shit! It gave me an error. Wait, let me try it again. Let me see.
Oh, you know what it is?
No.
I wonder if it's because of like this symbol that's on it. Like this happened to us last time, and I didn't know why. Let me just try something real quick. I can do. It's just Is it an attack roll? Fireball? Yeah.
Here, I'll just do it out here.
Just do it in the chat. That's fine. So 16 hits.
Oh, here we go. Oh, come on.
It doesn't do much damage, but it does. You do see like one of the wounds that it hits stays like sort of burnt and opened.
Okay.
It is at least apparently preventing like the regeneration.
I'm gonna run as I'm running past this table. I'm gonna grab another lantern, so I've got 2.
Okay.
2 lanterns. And let me just ask: is throwing lanterns that a dex-based thing or
it is an improvised weapon-based thing, which is a different type of action that we don't use often, but we should. And improvising an action basically takes a slot of a standard action, breaking down doors, intimidating enemies, sensing weaknesses, blah blah blah, and magical defenses, calling for a parlay. Anyway, there's a lot you can do. So let me just look at improvised.
I really want to throw it.
So basically, do you have? Let me just see what's on your character sheet. Use the thrown dagger, the +4 roll, just for the stats and the mechanics.
Okay.
Just for the 2 hit.
Oh, that needs to be. Well, that's fine. That no. I chuck it a little too far, and it like goes off the edge. Like maybe it hits this like
smashes on the platform. Yeah.
Okay, nope. Gonna hold the other one. I'm coming.
All right. Yagra steps in and tries to smack the big fucking mosquito demon off
God.
of Durnan here. Swings once and misses, like trying to
No.
swat a fly with a giant thing. Finally, like just connects and like the beak breaks off in like Durnan's shoulder, but it snaps off, separating from the body. But the thing drops dead. And the drunk guy that you pointed towards the thing fires and shoots.
Don't roll a 1. Don't roll a 1.
And misses the bug, which would have in turn hit Durnan. We come back to Durnan, who is basically just like doing everything he can to pin the fucking troll, who's still thrashing at him. So he doesn't really get to do much other than continue to hold him. The troll connects with another nasty claw. Holy shit! Durnan's gonna have to make a strength saving throw. He does manage to keep holding. Dante, what are you doing? You've lit torch in this thing's face. At this point, it looks like it's no longer bleeding, and like Durnan looks at you and just says, "Just finish it off."
I pull my hand out and I take my sword and, like, you know how Aragorn chops off that Uruk-hai's head? I'm gonna try and do that here.
Okay.
This troll. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have an easy time of it. And and just like that, I mean, honestly, but like with Durnan holding him down, the fire in there, like you hack into the thing and it's like quivering with like its regenerative natures, like trying to keep it alive, but your blade's stuck in there. And Durnan just lifts up his leg and stomps down on your blade that's stuck in there and like finishes the job. And like the body separates and drops, the head rolls off, and it's just like hanging there headless with its hand still pinned by the sword. And he pulls his foot back up off your blade, which you managed to hold on to. And he's kind of... He just like shouts at the top of his voice, which I can't do right now because I'm dry. But like he just says, "Drinks on the house," and he kind of calls for some of his like barbacks to come over. Says, "We're mounting and stuffing this thing." And the bar kind of like dies down, and you notice Alatar, like watching from the private chamber is your contact Obaya, and the rest of you probably catch her watching you all at this point now, and she's just sort of like nodding, clearly a bit impressed. And we'll pick up here next time on The Thing.
Nice. That was awesome. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Close enough to the curfew. Tried to keep it tight.
Yeah, that was great.
So cool.
Cool. I'll work out a few kinks, but yeah, next
got
time
sick.
on. And just
Thank you.
out of character, Obaya did reach out to each of you independently for this job that she's summoned you for,
Okay.
which we'll
Cool.
discuss next time.
Would you be able to send us that letter? Like,
Yeah.
forwarded again?
Yeah, I'll do a little, and like as you sort of have had a little sampler of your characters. Like I said, if you want to tweak or change anything, that's totally fine, within some reason. But and I'll provide some stuff. I wanted to do a little thing about like because the city's so big and there's so much you could know. Maybe just like a little bit of almost like acting cues, like a cue card for you guys about like stuff your character knows that you as a player might not know.
That'd be
Like
great.
little things that you
Yeah.
can riff off of, like with things that are happening in the plot, and maybe even with like some of the other characters, like whether they're the players or the NPCs. So I got a little something cooking for that. But if I forget for some reason, which shouldn't happen, just remind me and ask me about that.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Cool. Welcome to Waterdeep.
Thanks, Vinny. Yeah.
Huh. You've just reached level 2.
Nah. Not yet.
Almost.
There's a troll.
Not yet. That's a very weakened troll.
Oh my god.
We had a lot of help.
He was very scrawny and drained from all of those living growths, parasites that were on him.
Hmm.
I couldn't handle
Maybe
it.
next time.
All right, boys.
Prince the coward. That's gotta be his name now.
Lives to see another day, I'm afraid.
Well, he's alive right now.
Yeah.
For now.
All right, good game, guys.
GG's.
All
Later
have
on.
a
All right,
great
have a good
weekend,
night.
everybody.
Yeah,
Catch you guys
okay.
later.
See ya.
Yeah.